ULM recognized the military on this Veterans Day today. Good evening to you. I'm Jennifer Andrews. Kenya Ross was there and now joins us with more. Kenya?
That's right, Jennifer. The university held its Veterans Day appreciation ceremony outside in front of the library on campus.
The service that is given, it lasts forever. And there can be effects, and the sacrifice and the price also can continue all the way through their lives.
Around 10 a.m. on Monday, people gathered in Scott Plaza on ULM's campus to show their appreciation for veterans and the ones currently on active duty with the U.S. Armed Forces.
We couldn't be here today freely in an assembly to do what we're doing without them. We couldn't go to the polls, we couldn't go vote, we couldn't have freedom of speech, freedom of religion. We couldn't do any of those things probably without the men and women who we are recognizing and honoring today.
Guest speaker Lieutenant Colonel Robert Bratton said sometimes service members don't always know what they're going to encounter while serving, like those who responded last year to help others in Louisiana.
Many of you may not have heard of it, but there was a large wildfire that was burning in southwest Louisiana. It became known infamously as the Tiger Island Fire. We had never dealt with a fire, particularly of that nature, and really didn't understand the concept or the capabilities.
And on KNOE.com, I'll share a list of all veterans the university recognized at today's ceremony.